So you think you respect women, but you actually don't. And that's why they're not responding to you. Quickly, we need to cover the fact that there are probably 3 forms of sexism I want to talk about real quick. Give you the information you need to know that is quietly sabotaging your text game, and then explain the mindset shift that you need to make if you ultimately want to have success on the dating apps and ultimately, get in the relationship that you truly desire. So, first of all, I would say there was the 1950s era Mad Men sexism. If you've watched the TV show, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Today, while most people have moved past that, I would say there's a newer, more subliminal sexism that has emerged. Primarily, this has become obvious with the red pill movement. I assume if you're watching this video, you do not subscribe to that philosophy. And the Guy app that we've launched is not either, and that's why it's completely different than every single AI texting app/coach out there. But you are quietly, even if you don't know it, and I'm sure you're a good solid guy if you're watching this video, but your texts are almost certainly displaying a form of what we would call benevolent sexism, or more succinctly I would refer to as nice guy sexism, which if you've read the book Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover, highly recommended. I think it's called No More Mr. Nice Guy actually. You would know then that nice guys aren't actually nice. They're actually very transactional and quite honestly fake. So what I mean by this is that your texts are almost certainly putting women on a pedestal, and that is a form of benevolent sexism because you're not treating them as human beings. What you're doing is you're treating her like she's this glass figurine, like she's delicate, she's sensitive. So that's why you need to have the perfectly polished opener, because you can't afford to say something edgy that could weird her out, because she just might not be able to take it. You don't want to take the liberty of saying something that could be funny, but of course funny is a double-edged sword. It could be taken the wrong way and offensive, so you'd rather not offend her. You're essentially treating her with kid gloves, and she can feel this energy. It's not polite, it's patronizing, and that's why you're not getting responses, because the guys who are having the most amount of success on the dating apps are probably not what you would see on paper as the most respectful, quote-unquote, in the traditional sense that maybe you were taught growing up. But based on their actions and their behaviors and their mindset, they're simply treating women as equals, as one of their friends. And that is one of the things we will talk about as we get on. Last but not least, what you need to really internalize here before I show you some before and after text examples that will make this much clearer, is that you cannot treat women as puzzles to be solved. Rather, just treat them as people, and you'll see your success skyrocket. So let me give you some examples, because I think this is key to illustrate what I'm talking about here. So say she just got back from a trip. Before, you would have probably said, or maybe you're currently saying something like, "Oh wow, that's so cool. Where did you go? I've been wanting to travel more. Any recommendations?" Afterwards, once you internalize the philosophy of the guy, or just check out the app and start using it yourself, link in the comments or description, you would say something like, "Did you bring me something back, or are we already off to a bad start?" You see how that's way more flirtatious, way more fun, way more engaging? Which one do you think is more likely to get a response? More. She mentioned she's a teacher. Before, or maybe currently, again, you're saying something like, "That's awesome. Teachers don't get enough credit, honestly. What grade do you teach?" Boring. Afterwards, with the Guy app, this is something it's important to notice or note that before, I don't want to come across as if I'm lecturing you in these videos, because before I was sending these cringe texts in the before examples. But now, because of the Guy app, I am sending stuff like, "I got sent to the principal's office 4 times in 1 semester, so I'm going to need you not to hold that against me." You see how that's way more fun, way more flirty, way more, and you're just treating her like an equal. Even if it's not true, it's something ridiculous you might tell your guy friend. And that's ultimately the test. Imagine you had a friend named Dave. Look at your dating app messages right now, or even your regular text messages to women. Are the texts you're sending the same type of texts you would send your random friend Dave or Charlie? Because I can tell you, I text with females that are just friends, And I text them the same way I would text any of my guy friends on my phone. Say she sends a selfie. A couple more examples. Before, wow, you look amazing. That's a great photo. It's also what every other guy would say. Afterwards, you would say something. A better response would be, I'm going to need a moment. Please do not text me for the next 3 to 5 business days while I recover. So notice how you're still complimenting her in that sense, but you're still just being way more fun, way more flirtatious. At the end of the day, the guy app, it's not about manipulation. Women cannot be manipulated, and that's also something I should touch on, is that all this behavior, this benevolent sexism behavior, what it really comes from, and this is where the whole nice guy, persona, if you will, comes from, is that it comes from a place of insecurity, because you subconsciously believe, or maybe even consciously, who knows, maybe you're that self-aware, that if you were your true self, if you were unfiltered, unhinged, just who you naturally are around her from the moment you met, you believe she would reject you if she saw your true self. And so that's why you put on this game, this show, and she can feel that energy. She knows it. She's chatting with like 20 to 30 dudes on the apps probably per day if she really wants to. She's probably getting that many matches. So she has the pattern recognition to see right through you. Women are much better at this. And so this is why they're not responding to your perfectly crafted, polished openers. So again, just summarize it, in today's online dating landscape, the benevolent sexism that is the message between the lines of your messages is what is sabotaging your text game. Once you can start to remove this, once you can identify this in your own text behavior and start changing it, and literally just start texting them like you would your guy friends, funny, unfiltered, like a thought pops into your head, you type it out on your phone, you hit send, and you go about your day. That is when you will start having much more success with the text game. The text game, honestly, in today's 21st century digital world, text game is going to be one of the most important things that you must master if you truly want to have success, especially when it comes to online dating. So that's it for me. You can hear maybe the sirens in the background. They don't want you to know this information, guys. That's why I'm telling it to you. So if you are struggling on the apps and you've identified this behavior in yourself, check out the guy, link in the description. It's the first link. You can start a free trial. You don't need to sign up for an account. Paste in your messages, get honest feedback, and start getting advice on how to actually have these conversations. Stop shooting yourself in the foot and really just revolutionize your entire text game. Trust me, it is going to be life-changing. I was the exact guy making all the mistakes I just talked about. Now I've had a complete mindset shift, and I have never gotten a higher, response rate, I would say. So that's all for me in this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, fellas. Take care. Bye.